All right, you're almost there. You're at the end of your consumer economics graduation required applied arts credit. Hopefully you walk away having a basic understanding of all the principles that we covered in 5 short weeks. My goal for you is to continue your financial learning throughout your life, so it's important that you continue to find ways to study the article reviews, going to financial websites, magazines, publications, anything you get your hands on. Even my wife's magazine, she gets a magazine called Real Simple, and in there they have 3 or 4 pages of every issue is going over personal finance stuff geared towards women. And I always read it. I read it and see, you know, if it's good advice or bad advice. Basically, I gave you some things to think about. Your parents are going to give you things to think about. You might have, some of you might take additional business classes. The more information you get, the better. I love going to Deerfield Public Library, and my favorite section is the personal finance section. There's probably about, I don't know, 50 to 100 books. I've gone through at least a dozen so far, reading through those and reading. I like to get different opinions from different authors to kind of challenge myself, so I can create a plan that's best for myself and my family. I will send you a newsletter every month when you leave this class. If you don't want to get it, just reply. Please take me off the list, and I will take you off the list, and I will not, you know, my feelings won't be hurt. I could take it. I'm a big boy. But if you want to get those letters, you will continue to get them. And basically what it's gonna take you to is basically this part of the website. So there's June's issue. If you want to get in there, there's some good articles here I found that talks about working and the benefits of working in college. And a lot of you guys are going to be going to college soon, and you have to decide, you know, if you want a job in college and what are the benefits, what are the negatives. And so there's a couple different things in there on that. The prior month, May, this is something I'm going to run through with you right now, and this is what we want you to have. We want you to have a financial plan. Here's the plan that I have kind of built for you, and then from there, you basically want to develop your own plan. So first off, save 15% of your gross income. Americans, we save less than 1% of our discretionary income. Discretionary income is your income after you pay all your bills, all your taxes, whatever's left over. It's the money that you get to decide whatever the heck you want to do with. After you pay for food, rent, you know, all those, you know, insurances, bills. And as you can see, that's a small number, right? Well, Americans only save 1% of that. So I'm asking you to be very aggressive. I'm asking you to save first. If you guys pay yourself first, number one there, save 15% of your gross income for the rest of your life. There it is, 15%. You will never have to worry about money, because you're going to have a big pile of money somewhere that you could tap into in case of hardships or emergencies. And people who have the ability to save 15% of the income, they're the ones that say, you know what, I'm going to handle my money responsibly. If I made $50,000 a year and I had to save 15%, that would be $7,500 a year I'd be saving, and that means basically the after taxes, everything else I get to spend, and I don't have to sit there and budget as you did in the budgeting assignment. The best way to do this is through your employer. You can set up what is called an automatic savings plan. It's connected to a credit union, and basically they take the money out of your paycheck before you even get it, and it goes directly into the savings account. I strongly recommend all of you, considering many of you aren't going to be business majors, you might never take a business class again, is the easiest way you could possibly save. And then from there you build all your living expenses and everything, whatever you have left every month. So if you're making $3,000 a month, that's what your gross pay is. You save your, let's see, let me do my math here, it's $450 a month. And then whatever you get in that paycheck, that net pay, you get to do whatever you want with it. It's not a bad way to live your life, and if you could do that, as your income goes up, your savings bucket gets bigger. All right, invest in multiple asset buckets. So from here, I gave you some things to think about in past modules, units. You had to come up with and explain different types of asset classes. So make sure you pick some asset buckets. Don't just pick 1 or 2. I recommend you have a minimum of 3. 4 would be great. 5 would be amazing. Most people only get to 2, their house and stocks. We want you to get to at least 3, 4, or 5. So consider investing in multiple types of asset classes and not just one. Make one long-term investment a year. You're saving 15% of your income. Take a portion of that 15% and make one long-term investment a year, whether it's a bond, whether it's a stock, whether it's a REIT, whether it's whatever you can think of that you feel comfortable. Purchase that one long-term investment. By the time you're 30, if you start at 18, you're going to have 12 different types of assets invested, floating around out there. The more, the merrier. 4, I can't stress this enough. Do what you love. I love what I do. I love working with high school students. I love teaching them about personal finance. I get so much fulfillment with my accounting students. Some of them have now have earned their CPAs and are practicing accounting at the highest level, and they are just so happy with their lives. And to me, I just love seeing that growth from my students when they leave high school. It's a shame that I don't have more students that are business majors take any of my classes, because their schedule is so filled with taking this class and that class that they don't have time to take a class that's something they're interested in. It's just a shame that students have that in their mind. But I've had many students that have been very, very successful, and they've taken 3, 4 of the business classes here, have gone on to major in business, and now are out there just doing bang-up jobs in their areas of interest and study. And it's just so fun watching a young person love something and really get behind it. It doesn't have to be business. Like with many of you, you have these other passions. Get after it. If you do what you love, life is amazing. Life is truly amazing. Can you imagine waking up every day for the rest of your life thinking, I don't want to go to work today. Oh, gosh, I can't stand it. That is no way to live a life. So live this life to your fullest, find what you love, and get after it. But you better make sure that there's a way for you to obtain a position in that profession. Too many young people right now, they're I love to do this, and then they don't see, okay, they get this degree, they get this major, and then there's no job waiting for them. And so now they're doing all these other types of jobs that their heart is not in, and they're working their tails off, making low amounts of money. So find that balance for yourself. It's your life. You got one shot at this, so make it count. 5, share your wealth with others. Once you obtain wealth, share that wealth, whether it's through charitable organizations. Some of you guys have religious institutions. Some of you guys have communities. Some of you have poor. Some of you do international. Some of you do children. Some of you do animals. Some of you do the environment. There's so many different ways to share your wealth. And so with those other passions that you have, you could give back to this world and make the world a better place by obtaining that wealth. A lot of people give these, business owners, the really wealthy ones, are like, oh, they make $10 million a year, that's bad. You got to remember, they started a business, they took the risk, they put their whole thing on the line, and they got after it, and they made boatloads of money. But in the process, you got to remember this. They created jobs and livelihoods and put food on the table and help people buy homes and help people send their kids to college by creating that business. So don't think a little bit about that thought process on people who really take every penny they have to risk to start a new business, but they're providing livelihoods for hundreds, if not thousands, of people. 7, keep your brand 100% of the time. And we didn't really talk about this a lot because I don't see you every day, but make sure you are who you are. Don't treat the person working at the theater different from your boss. Don't treat your friend different from, the person who's waiting on your table. Be who you are 100% of the time. Don't change yourself, because that will catch up. I guarantee. I won't be there to tell you so. And some people are even blind to it. They get a little narcissist, and they think they are bigger than they are, and they treat people poorly. I see it all the time. I go out to Walgreens, I go out to the restaurants in town, and I just see the way people sometimes talk down to people, and it's just, to me, it's sickening. I just, be who you are 100% of the time. Treat everyone with respect. And if you do that, I guarantee you will have much success. Not only you're going to be a happy person, but you're also going to have fulfillment in your job, because you never know when someone's watching you. All right. 8, carry insurance on your car, home, life, health, and a lot of people forget about disability protection. You're more likely in the next 30 years to become disabled than you are to die. And most people don't have disability protection, but they have life insurance. So make sure you include disability protection as part of your portfolio. One of my friends, he cracked his neck. He worked for IDOT. His head hit the top of the truck when he was driving it, and he cracked a vertebrae, and he basically cannot work the rest of his life. Luckily, though, he was provided for by disability protection. 9, never carry a credit card balance. If you're saving 15%, that means you're paying off that credit card balance every month. Guys, it is an awful loan. Stay away. 2/3 of Americans run that balance, and they shouldn't. Okay, so be very wise with that. Earlier in this module, you saw the calculation. It is a bad loan. The interest gets compounded daily. Stay away. And then 10 and beyond, this is for you to create. Create your financial plan. Seek out knowledge. Put a plan in place. My advice to young people, get a roommate when you get out of college and you get a job. If you could live at home, that's great. If you want to get out on your own, I did. I wanted to get out and be my own person right away. But I always had roommates the first, probably 5 years out of college. I had roommates to cut down on those bills. And you got to remember, your roommates bring furniture. They bring other things, and that's less stuff you have to buy. You get to split the rent. You get to split the telephone. You get to split the cable. You get to split the internet. All that stuff gets split, so you're not paying for it all on your own. And heck, if you have two roommates, that's even better. So think about that. Having roommates, or think about and create a plan that's right for you. All right, guys, I wish I got to know you better. I didn't really get to know you as well as I like being in a virtual environment, but I did enjoy reading your posts and what you had to say in your assignments. I'm very inspired by many of you on amazing things that you do in the community and outside of the community. So keep up the great work. This is what you're to do for the final assignment. I want you to write down three things, the three most important things to you that you learned in this class. And I want, maybe, make it a solid paragraph. Don't just give me like one line like I learned about credit cards. Give me like what you learned, explain it, and then, go into detail how you're going to apply it. So explain what you learned, explain why it was important that you learned it, and then how you're going to apply it to your life. 3 things, okay? If you followed a lot of the stuff that I've been talking to you, if you've been paying attention closely, I didn't get into as many as I wanted to because it's being virtual. In my normal classes, we get into a lot more. But, this class, these concepts, could really help your wealth grow substantially over a period of time. So hopefully you're able to walk away with at least 3 things, and then keep studying this stuff, keep studying these concepts. If you're the rest of the summer, make sure you get out there and try different things, and I enjoyed it, and look forward to you seeing you around the halls of Deerfield. So say hi. Thanks a lot.